Recording in progress.
All right,
All right, we're on.
let's do this.
So, what's up, everybody? My name is Eddie. I have a guest. I guess we have a guest. This is definitely a mixture. How do we say this? I don't see. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
We're just here.
Co-hosting,
Yeah, I guess
co-hosting,
you can say that.
cross branding.
There, yeah, that's nice.
That's what I was looking for. Cross branding effort between
Nice.
podcasts and YouTube videos. You see how I pull that out?
Let's go.
A little bit of a struggle, but we'll get there.
I see you.
Psyph Morrison,
What
right?
it do? What is
I
going
I
on?
know him by his real name. I've known him for a long time.
Very, very long.
Yeah. But so we're doing this because I called him up one day very recently and I was like, "Yo, well hold up. Let's pause for a second. Not your pause because I know you like to say pause. Not that pause.
Yeah.
But so this is on this side, it's the New Parent Again YouTube video channel
Mhm.
podcast, right? What's your side?
Mine is you know what? I haven't named
You don't have a name yet,
my
right?
yeah, I haven't named
Yeah.
my live stream podcast, whatever. I haven't named it yet, man.
Yeah, so Sai's working on in a new space. He's doing live streams on YouTube, which is pretty legit. I've been watching him.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool because we were talking earlier via text, and I was telling him it's like having a bunch of people on the podcast because they drop comments, and
Yeah.
he's able to just have a conversation with his community.
Yeah, which is probably the best part of it because if you're just sitting there speaking into the camera, that's gotta suck, you
It's
know.
hard.
Yeah, it is. It
I
is.
I tried, and it's tough, man.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard. Um, man, okay, so when I started back, I was actually kind of doing that for like 30 minutes. And it was like, bro, I don't know how this is gonna work because you just sitting there talking into space. It feels
Yeah,
like, like
no
talking to clouds.
feedback.
Yeah, nothing. You're just sitting there hoping for the best.
Look like
And
that
then
crazy person when Bluetooth first came out walking in the store.
right,
Remember that?
exactly.
Like,
Like,
hey
oh, that
man,
dude is crazy.
who's that guy talking to?
Yeah, that dude
Big
is
old thing on
crazy.
his ear. What is that, man? He's got a growth.
Yeah.
Showing our age right
Seriously.
there.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Oh man, we're
So
old
I
now.
saw yeah, we are old. I saw somebody said something in your podcast, not yesterday's podcast,
Uh-huh.
but the one before. There was a name that he had sparked some
Oh,
interest with.
yeah. Okay. So it was actually my aunt. She
What,
chimed in and
oh, was
said,
that your aunt?
yeah, she said,
Yeah, she
what
learned
is
some
it?
things about you that episode.
Yeah, she did, and
I was like,
the
ooh.
funny part about it, I don't hold back, rather it's podcast or the dinner table, you'll learn something if you ask. So she knows that. That's why she was like, man, I did not expect to get on here and learn something,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
because
that
she
was
wasn't looking for that,
yeah.
And so I'll speak up. I don't mind. I don't hide anything from my past because, whether good or bad, it made me who I am.
So I wonder about that, right? I've battled in my head about what I can and can't say,
Yeah.
right? Especially in regards to my parents, because everybody's got a story, right?
Yeah.
So I've been
100%.
I'm going to be real selective. I'm not even gonna lie about the stories that I share with
I
my
would.
family. Yeah,
I would. I
right?
would if I was you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
who's to say I'm not gonna regret this 10, 15 years later when my son is in high school and I'm
Bro.
doing what you're doing, which is being very active within the school. They're gonna be able to go back and be like, wow,
Yeah,
that dude did all that.
that dude was wild.
Yeah. And
So
it's
when I
like
first
I'm
kicked off the podcast idea, right? I
yeah.
was talking to a friend of mine that lives in the Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Oh, you know what? I've done some podcasts. Let me send you some stuff." I was like, "Oh, for real? Cool. I can learn some stuff from you, right?"
Right.
Yeah, I learned some stuff about him that I was 110,000% not prepared for.
Yeah, you were off,
Like,
huh?
oh, bro, like and you're probably gonna listen to this. You know who you are. I still love you. You're my guy. But
Yeah.
I learned some things about you that I was
Yeah.
not ready for. And ironically, right, this is like 10 years ago or even longer. I don't even know. It was a long
Yeah.
time ago. And he's got a kid now,
Hmm.
right? So, like, to your point, yeah,
Kid's gonna see it.
the kid could see it or hear it or whatever, and he may not even care because he's a cool dude. He may not even care. He's like, "Look, man, this is just who I am,"
Yeah, that's
and I
what it
can
was.
respect that too.
Yeah.
right? But for
Yeah.
me, I couldn't I could
Yeah.
not do that. No,
Yeah.
man, there's so look, we grew up in a generation where we didn't have to record everything.
Right.
I'm
Right.
okay with that. Like
Yeah.
that's an old thing that's been said for a long time, and there's some
Yeah.
real truth behind that.
I thank God.
Yeah, if
I
you were
thank God
there,
every day
then you
because
knew,
yeah, oh yeah,
and if
dude.
you weren't, then
The
that's
type
okay.
of pictures and videos I would have been sending around would have been, it would have been bad.
Yeah, it's the like today's
Yeah.
generation puts everything on camera,
Yeah.
everything, right? And the stuff that they record to me, honestly, is kind of hold on, I gotta turn my level down real quick.
Hmm.
The stuff that they record to me is scary. Like there's these cats on YouTube, they go around and they mess with people.
Yeah.
Like the
The
In the Hood
pranks.
Gone Wrong,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
like a Latin dude and a black dude, light skinned dude. Have you seen those
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah. I seen him.
Oh my god.
See, now the weird thing about it, right? You're thinking about the hood when we were growing up, and that's also the hood also has changed because if you notice in a lot of those videos, these dudes 90% of the time they yell, "Oh, it's a prank. The camera's right there." And the whole vibe changes. "Oh, you got me, man. You can't
Yeah.
play with me like that." Now, back in the day, you couldn't do that because you would say, "It's a prank. The video right there." They'd be like, "Hey, get his camera." You know what I mean? We stomping both of them
That's
out.
a nice camera.
Yeah, we about to get rid of the footage because we about to do them dirty. Now, the times changed all the way around. So while it's crazy to us, the whole situation has changed.
Dude, I
You
remember
know,
when I was a kid walking through the mall
yeah,
and I stepped on dude's Puma.
yeah,
Like real talk. Like I know that's in like songs and stuff. Like
yeah, yeah.
that was a
It's
thing,
real.
bro.
Yeah, it's
I,
real.
I
That'll
was
get
a
you
kid.
pressed.
And this
Yeah,
dude, I was a kid. He was probably, I don't know, to me, he was like 6'5". I don't know how big he was.
you
Way
know,
bigger than I was.
yeah,
Again, I was a kid. I stepped on his Puma. 3 steps later, it's like it took him 3 or 4 steps for me to go by for him to calculate what had just happened. He didn't move.
yeah,
I felt him stop. I felt my universe around me stop and slow down like a spider sense.
yeah,
And dude yelled out, "Man, you stepped on my effing Puma." And I was like, "Oh," and I ran.
yeah.
I just took off. But yeah,
He said, "I got up out of here."
I was out. I was a kid. I wasn't
Yeah,
trying to get stomped out for stepping on somebody's shoe. It was an
because it can
accident.
happen, bro. That's
Yeah,
the
but
worst part about it. It could happen.
yeah, and so my point to that is though is what they do today,
Yeah.
right? Talking about talking crazy to their face and disrespectful and
Hmm.
almost putting hands on them at some points.
Yeah.
So what I couldn't get away with when I was younger, you got checked quick.
Yeah. 100%.
You got
Yeah.
checked really quick. So I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's a different time.
It is. It
It's a
is.
different time. So,
It's 100% different time.
but we're kind of straying from the original topic. So I called him up one day, and I was like, he's been kind of putting pressure on me to get my stuff together for the
Yeah.
podcast, right?
100%.
Yeah. So because I called him up and I was like, man, I don't. I seen him on Facebook. We were talking, and I was like, man, the one thing I don't have is time. He was like, you got to make time, right?
Yeah.
This this
100%.
this is how it sparked. And I was like, well, I love to make time, but I don't know how to do that. I don't have the time to make. And that kind of sat with me for about a solid week. And I was thinking about all the different things I have going on, all the different activities that I've put in my life, and I was
Too
trying to
much.
too much,
Too
right?
much.
And I was trying to prioritize things, and I used to tell him the same thing too. Well, you got to make time.
Hmm.
Like he would ask, how do I get all this stuff done? We've had these conversations the other way around. He was like, how
Hmm.
do I get all? I need somebody to help me, and I was like, honestly, dude, I don't think you need anybody to help you. I think you just need to reprioritize what you're doing because you got too much going on. You can't focus. We've
Right.
had this. I remember. I thought a lot about after just a few conversations that we had about it, even if it was just through text. And I
Hmm.
remember having the same conversation with him because he had a lot going on too. He still does, but he has his own vision and he
Yeah.
likes to do things a certain way. And it's very hard to have somebody else come and walk in your shoes for you and expect
Yeah.
them to do it the way that you want it to get done.
100%. It's never going to work.
It's never going to work, right?
Never going to work.
So we talked about it and I thought about it, and then he had asked me a question. Because how did it go, man? I was talking about how I feel like I always need to be doing something,
Yeah.
and
And
you started grilling me.
yeah, well, I don't know if it was a grilling, but it might have felt that way, right?
I
I was
felt
telling you,
attacked.
I You shouldn't, this is but I understand why. I think if I'm not mistaken, I had mentioned maybe talking to a therapist,
Yeah,
if
but
that's
even
what you're talking about, because
yeah,
that
but
was a
even
little
before
long.
that, you started asking me some questions. You were like, "Oh, you had asked me what I feel like when I'm not doing anything," or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. See, I was actually going into counselor mode.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty
Eh,
much what it was.
yeah, and because one thing that I learned, through being a counselor for 13 years, a child residential counselor, and my wife being a therapist, is to get to the root of things. So like, how do you feel when you're not doing something? Like, what type of anxiety is that causing you? Like that's my question, because I know when I feel certain things, about certain things, like it's I try to get to the root of it, or I talk to my wife and she gets to the root of it, because
That's
something's
not.
there.
You have an in-house therapist though, bro.
She doesn't see. It's kind of right, kind of. She gets to it, but it's not the same as like her being in a session, because she knows me. So
Right?
it's like she'll go there, but it ain't like we're sitting there. I'm laying on the couch and she's like this, with
Do
her
they really do
fingers.
that in real life?
No,
Do they have a
no,
couch?
nah. Probably she's on Zoom a lot of the time, so maybe the other person is on a couch. She would never know.
That was always like the vibe, right, on TV,
Oh
the
yeah,
movies.
definitely. Yeah, the
Come
black
have,
leather
come sit
couch.
on my
I'm,
couch.
yeah, the leather couch and the
Yeah,
black leather
yeah, with the
lean
little plant in
back.
the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
You
to
know.
answer your question though, I feel when I am not doing anything,
Yeah.
I feel like garbage.
Ah.
I do. I feel like trash. I'm trying to watch my swear words. If you haven't noticed, that's why
Okay. I'll do
some
my
words
best.
may be out of place.
Yeah. But why though? What makes you feel like garbage is the question, right?
Yeah, right. So, and the honest response is I just always feel like I have to be doing something. Now, there
Yeah.
are times where I'll take a break. I'll sit down and watch TV for a little bit or a movie or whatever.
You
But
feel guilty after that
oh,
though?
I feel guilty during,
Why? What the hell? Like,
like,
dude.
as it's happening. Like I feel like I'm committing a crime.
Really?
I swear to you, dude.
You don't
100%.
grind enough to feel like, you know what? I've earned this movie. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna kick it.
Nah, I feel bad.
Why?
I
Are
feel
you
bad.
okay? My question is, okay, why?
I mean, that's a very open question.
Well, okay, is it okay?
No, actually,
But
I have the answer though.
okay, because I want to get to my why.
So
You know,
my why is simple, and this is I guess, and this is not a bash on my parents, like I talked about. I said earlier, right?
yeah,
Don't I'm not, but I was raised. Now, my mom and dad did a ton for me, a ton. I was spoiled. I'm still spoiled
right, hundred
to this
percent.
day,
You have
right?
great parents, bro.
Yeah,
I've
they're
always said
awesome.
that. You
They're
have
awesome.
amazing parents.
But
Dead ass.
when it was time to clean,
Yeah,
I had to clean. If I
yeah,
got caught doing anything else, I would have to. I play video games.
yeah.
I get caught. Uh, Man, I get in trouble.
Oh wow.
Right? You're not supposed
Okay.
to be playing. You're supposed to be cleaning. You're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing that, right?
Yeah.
So that growing up, I always felt like I had to be doing something.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, always. And so I think, and then my parents, they were super busy, especially my mom. She was really active. My dad worked 2 to 10, so
Hmm.
not so much on his side, right, because of his
Hmm.
hours. But my
Yeah.
mom, after school or after her work, we go to different things. There's something called El Concilio. It's like a mixer chamber of commerce out here. She was
Hmm.
part of that. There was something called LULAC. It's the League of United Latin American Citizens.
Oh, okay, I get
She
it
was a
now.
part of that.
Yeah, I see.
They created a LULAC youth, so I was involved with that.
Yeah.
She would do like political stuff with people, so I would go to that. She would
Super
do
active.
mixers.
Yeah.
She was part of the school, and
Yeah.
my dad would go to this stuff too, but that was on the weekend. So we were
Yeah.
always busy. And my mom, she used to tell me all the time. She'd say, "Oh, there's a switch that you need to learn at a very young age, and that switch is that you can act the way you want to act as a kid when you're at
Yeah.
home, but not when you're out in public."
Facts.
She's like, "I need you to learn how to flip that switch because when you're out, now you represent me and yourself, and people are looking at you differently."
100%. I
Yeah,
agree
so
with that.
she taught me that, and that's how she used to say it. She's like, "You got to learn how to flip the switch."
See, I'm gonna talk to my kid about that.
Yeah, because it's real. We're
Yeah.
not, and she's not saying that my parents aren't saying to be bipolar,
Or
right?
code
Or to
switch. You know
Huh?
what I mean? It's not code switching. It's
Yeah,
learning
it's
your
not.
like showing other people you have manners.
Right. Exactly. It's
Yeah,
all it is being manners. You go to
yeah,
somebody's house, you use a glass, you wash it.
yeah. 100%.
Right? You
Yeah,
pick up behind yourself.
yeah.
And then my mom used to tell him, my dad used to tell him too, if he goes to your house and he's rude, disrespectful, doesn't clean up after himself, handle
Let
him.
me know. Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
she they would be
Oh, handle it. You handle.
like he's yours.
Right, right,
Like if he
right,
gets out of pocket, you put him back in his place.
right. I
That
feel that.
scared me,
Okay,
right?
I
Because I was
see.
a kid, and so I
Yeah,
believed that anybody was just ready to take
yeah,
care of business at any given time. I didn't
yeah,
want that.
yeah. Hundred
And
percent.
the first thing that they when they picked me up or see me later, they didn't talk to me. They, how was he? Was he good? What did
Yeah,
he? Because they're looking for a reason
yeah.
to get me in trouble. Because if I disrespect anybody else, I'm just makes my parents look
Disrespecting
bad.
them. Yeah,
Right?
100%.
They're not with that. So I grew
Yeah,
up in that type of environment. But yeah.
right.
Anyways, my parents are always busy,
Yeah,
so I feel like my parents set a high bar.
yeah.
So in my head, I'm always struggling trying to reach that bar.
I see.
That's
I
my why.
see. Okay,
So
okay.
what's your why?
Well,
Well, do
my
you feel bad
question for
if you're not
d-
doing anything? Do you have the same type of struggle that I have?
no,
Mm,
because I grew up. My parents, they didn't. They were my mom. She had me super young, and she grinded. You know what I mean? She just grinded it out.
mm-hmm.
And my dad, he understood life late. I'll say it like that. You
Okay.
know. So me, I've always been doing better than they were at their age. You know what I mean? They're doing amazing now. You know, they both are homeowners. They're doing really, 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 really well for themselves. And so that's why now I try to like it's hard. That's a hard question because I grew up really different. You know what I mean? Like single parent household. My dad at that time, he had issues with alcohol. You know, my mom super young, few kids, you know, so it was like we were just figuring it out,
Right.
you know.
So how
So
young was your mom?
when she had me,
Yeah.
16.
Mm,
So she was super young. You know what I mean? So while I'm figuring out life, she's figuring out life
yeah.
with a kid, you
Right.
know. So it's like it was hard, you know, but she made the best of things, you know. So all I knew was just to grind because she's a straight grinder, bro. She was facts, like serious grinder. So that's all I knew. I learned from my wife about self care,
Right.
you know,
That's the topic that we got on.
right? Because I used to I I would have to stay up until 2 a.m. I would go to work, come back. Now I'm working on music till 2 a.m. Now I have to be up by 9 at the latest because I have to jog, do music before work, and then get back to work. And we're doing this cycle. You know what I mean? A
Right.
cycle from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is where I'm sleeping at, you know, like a good like 9 the latest, 7 is the earliest, jog, get back to the music. This is before I actually caught a fan base, you know, and it was like literally just every single day, like machine, you know what I
Mm,
mean? I didn't have a TV. I didn't purposely, you know, I didn't do anything outside of my goal. So I understand where you're coming from. Now, learning from my wife, like you got to take care of yourself. You know, like that's what it is. Like you can go hard, but where is that going to get you? You're going to work yourself into a situation you can't, it's going to be so hard for you to get out of. Why not sit down and if the bills are paid, you know, everybody's fed, you're not scrounging for a dollar, sit back and take care of yourself. Because if you're not able to go, if the car doesn't have a tune up, the car can't make the deliveries. You
right.
know what I mean? It's just what it is.
Well, so just to make it more complicated, right?
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, you can't tell that
Right.
I feel any type of way.
Right.
But we're so busy.
Yeah.
We're so busy. Monday through Friday, most days we got something going on after work, school, basketball practice,
Hmm.
weekends. We're Mexican, so there's always a birthday party.
Yep.
at least 14 birthday parties any given weekend,
Yeah,
hanging out
100%.
with other, having a social life, right?
Yeah,
When she's involved with sports, there's basketball games, things like that.
yeah,
There's a list.
yeah, 100%.
So, and these are things that I also feel are just as important as other things.
Yeah.
So that's where I struggle trying. So typically what happens is the first thing that will go that gets let go of is the house.
Mhm.
Now I'm not saying I live in a pigsty by any means,
Right.
right? But things are out of place because we don't have time to pick up, do
Right.
a good deep clean because there's no free hours.
Right.
Um, so then that's where it starts with me. That's why I can't sit down and watch TV or do something because I'm like, I gotta go pick this up real quick. I gotta
Man,
go do
you different
laundry.
from me, bro. You different from me. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that right
I
now.
can't do it. It bugs me, man. Like
Now
you
clutter frustrates me.
yeah, clutter drives
Clutter
me nuts.
frustrate it drives me. I can't think straight.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to work when there's clutter around.
Yeah, see, it's funny. So
But
like background right now, like you see this cord where
right
bam,
there,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah, that's killing me right now.
Now,
Right?
I'm
That's
not
because
gonna lie to you. I
is
would leave that cord there
I don't
if
know.
it
See,
means that I need to relax.
I can't. If
I'm
you
gonna
go
leave that
back and
cord
you
there.
watch this podcast or this
Yeah.
video again, you're gonna see me staring at it like 32 times. I'm just like, this thing is killing me. It's really just doing something special. The whiteboard, it's not so much I wasn't get rid. Remember the one that I gave you,
Yeah,
like the super big one? Did I give you one of those?
I think so.
So I still have one more. I was gonna get rid of it. Gigi won't let me get rid of it, so I gotta hang it on the wall
Yeah,
because it was in
don't.
the room next door.
Yeah.
Now it's got
Don't
to
get
go
rid of
here.
that.
Don't get rid of it.
Hell no, bro. Those are so I have a little one now because I had to get rid of the big one,
Oh
but yeah, dude, it's
yeah,
so
you did have it.
valuable.
I remember it.
Though so valuable, man.
Yeah, so I gotta hang this up. But there's little stuff in here that I'm seeing on the camera. But this room was, for the record, this room was it was an office. It got turned into a toy room. It got transformed multiple times into different things. Then this room became the baby's room. So all the stuff
Mhm.
yeah, it's just but like I'm learning to be okay with the
Yeah,
mess, right?
yeah.
Because I can't if I focus on hyper focus on getting everything just right, then I'm
Mhm.
never gonna move on to the next step.
Right.
Right.
That's
So,
true.
and that's my struggle. So, okay, I got to be okay with this. I feel apologetic about it.
Yeah,
I really do. But
yeah.
I gotta move on.
Right. How does it feel when you move on though? That's my question.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting better.
Why?
Like,
Why do you feel like it's getting better?
because, and it may be just for this week, right?
Yeah.
Week and a half, probably about a week. Because I'm seeing progress in different areas.
Yeah.
So
Where?
I'm okay with that.
Where
Like,
what areas? If you don't mind me asking.
no, no. So it's like with the whole website and with all the stuff
Okay.
that I've been focusing on, right?
Right. You feel me?
Yeah, so I'm
You feel
getting is
me?
if I'm getting at least progress,
Yeah.
then I can be okay because if I set the tone, I say it set the table. If I set
Yeah.
the table, then I can eat,
Yeah,
right? If
100%.
everything's the where it needs to be and I can cruise control and I can just enjoy my meal, then that's where I want to be at.
100%.
And that's where I'm trying to get to. So like I set up the website's 1 year old.
Mhm.
1 year old. I think it's barely got 30 posts. I think 12 of them are within like the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because
So
I
you've
was
been
like,
jumping. You've been getting on it.
I've been getting on it,
Yeah.
right? Because I was trying to in my head it was a priority, but my real world it wasn't,
Yeah.
and it's something that I'm paying for,
Right.
right? So it's like, why am I going to spend money on something with no return? I think I did like a solo YouTube video that I struggled. I was holding penny, and
Mhm.
the way I thought to it myself was, if somebody offered you a job and they say, hey, you want to do this job, it's going to be amazing, and you're like, okay, I'm interested. What is it? Well, you're going to pay me, I don't know, $300, $500, $1,000 every year,
Yeah.
and you're going to work random hours of the day all throughout the day, and it's always going to live in your mind, and you get nothing in return for it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, that's a terrible
Yeah.
idea.
It's not a great job.
That's not a good decision.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
list of decisions, that's definitely an easy bad one, right?
Yeah.
But
100%.
that's what this has been though.
Yeah. I
It's one of
see.
those things that live, space free, rent free in my head. That's always in the back of my mind that I'm going to get to, but I never
Yeah.
do. And that
Right.
creates extra pressure in my mind.
Yeah. I can see
So,
that. I
yeah,
can see that.
so I was
Yeah.
talking to Terry and I was like, look, I'm going to give it 6 months and we're going to see what happens.
Mhm.
And if I can make something happen in the next 6 months, and I'm not looking for monetization, I'm not trying to get rich off of this. It
Just
was a
wanted to grow.
project. I just wanted to grow.
Yeah.
It
Just
was a
wanted to grow.
project I was driving. I thought it'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
It made sense. New parent again. I am a new parent again. I'm not the only person that's got more than one kid. You
Yeah.
got one on the way,
Yeah.
right? So you're gonna fall
Yeah.
into the category.
100%.
Um,
100%.
so to me, it just made sense, right?
Yeah.
And being a parent unlocks a whole new set of struggles that people
Yeah.
don't understand,
100%.
right? Until you're a parent.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right. So going back to the working hard stuff, right?
Hmm.
I seen a meme the other day that said the only people that are gonna remember about you overworking and working all
Are
those
your
hours is your
kids?
kids.
I saw that one.
And it's 100% facts, bro.
Well, you
It's a
remember what I
hundred
used to
percent
do
facts.
when I was traveling?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so ironically, I used to travel. I would say like 90%.
yeah.
I traveled so much, my daughter thought I worked at the airport because I got dropped off all the time. She was like, "Oh,
I
daddy's going
remember.
to work."
Yeah, you used to be gone, bro.
Yeah, all the
Yeah, I
time.
remember
I lived
that.
out of a suitcase, and
Yeah,
but I was chasing the money, right? I was chasing the bag,
yeah,
and I felt like this is what I had to do to support my family.
right.
But man, it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of work, and in the end, like I was not the same person that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I had this vision in my head when I was young that you got to work, 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 work. You got to just give it your everything, and you'll get noticed for it. You'll be successful. You'll be taken care of, and that is true. I did get noticed for it. I
Mm-hmm.
was taken care of in my own little space. I was successful, but at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, I turned into a direct deposit check for my family.
Right.
That was not okay.
Right. Now, okay. All right. Okay. So being a kid in a single parent household, my mom was gone a lot,
Hmm.
right? My mom was gone. She was working. She would go to school because she's catching up in life, right? Because
Right.
she had these kids young and she's trying to make some of herself so we didn't grow up being poor. So she's going to school to get her degree. She's working. She has another job and then she's doing this. And we're at my aunt's house over the weekend. And uh the kid my brother's sick and my aunt's at work. Can you stay home? How are you doing in class? Because I need you to stay home today. You know what I mean? To watch your sibling. We went through these things. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Does it make my mom a bad mom? No. It makes her a person that was working with the cards she was dealt. That's the way I see it
100%.
now.
Yeah.
Right. When I was younger, I was like, bro, my mom is trash. Now I'm like, bro, my mom made it through.
Yeah.
Cause that's
Because we don't
odds.
know.
Yeah, 100%. When I tell her every day, bro, all the time, you really did a great job because in your circumstance, you were set up to lose. You know what I mean? And you made it through.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I told every promoter, my fans, I told everybody, bro, this whole year my son is born, I'm not doing any shows. I'm not popping up at any events. I'm not doing shit but taking care of my kid, you know?
Hmm.
And I was like, where the hell does that come from? And you just saying that, it really just clicked like, dude, is that from my mom? Like, well, my dad too, but is that from my parents, like on the go and trying to make
Yeah.
something happen? Obviously it is,
We're a product of our environment, man. 100%.
100%. And
Yeah.
it's like if me and my wife are so good to where I can stay and just be with my kid for a full year, well, it's a little longer now, but a full year, every single day in and out. You know what I mean? I'm not going to no shows. I'm not touring. I'm not doing anything other than dropping music videos and putting out music.
We're
But
working from home.
100%,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I call it the daycare baby.
yeah.
I think back in the day they call it the latchkey kid,
Oh yeah.
but
Okay.
I was the daycare baby.
Yeah.
So my dad he worked the swing shift intentionally.
Hmm.
So he'd make me
Intentionally,
breakfast. Well, yeah, because this is how they had to
because he
do it,
had
right? He
to.
had to,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he was there for a long time. He was a mechanic,
Hmm.
um, for the city. So
Yeah.
he would take me to school,
Yeah.
and then my mom would pick me up. I was
Hmm.
always the last kid to get picked up, almost every day, all the time.
Yeah.
Always the last kid to get picked up.
Uh-huh.
So now with her, right? I don't want her to be the last kid to get picked up.
Right. I was
That
just about
that
to say,
yeah,
okay.
that sits heavy with me because that it's not that it was fun until there was nobody left.
Right.
Right, then you're sitting there with the daycare and you're like, Connect Four?
Yeah.
Guess who?
And then
Like,
they start, you hear them snickering to each other. Well, he's always here. So,
yeah,
you know what I
probably.
mean?
They probably
Y-
did.
See, I used to listen for stuff like that, and I'd be like, well, that goes back. Okay, my situation with my son. Um, my grandma was the main one. My aunts, were like there to like were the ones that I was really there with. I'd go to their house and stuff like that, and that was cool. But now, me being a parent, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna teach him everything myself. Me and my wife, like we're in this. I don't care
Mm,
what I'm doing. Like I just got hit up about a couple of festivals for this year coming up, 2024. And the first thing I think is we'll see. Before it was let's go, let's get it.
yeah.
I hit the promoter up like, we'll talk about it because there's nothing more important to me than my family. You know what I mean?
So that's a tough space though, right? And this is where the what how do you say it? An immovable object or force meets an
Hmm.
immovable object,
Yeah,
unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
yeah,
So something's got to give,
yeah,
right? So at some point, is there a space where you're like, okay, I have to continue doing this because this is who I am.
yeah,
This also generates revenue.
yeah,
I need the money to support my family,
yeah.
right?
Kind of.
Well, I mean, eventually you're gonna need some money to support your family.
But we're doing really well. So
Well,
now if circumstances were different, yeah, 100%.
I I guess
Circum
you found a space where you found peace.
yeah, I'm to be fair for anybody listening, I had kids after the hustle. You know what I mean? My kids are born after the grind. My wife she's a PhD now, well, PsyD. She got her doctorate basically.
Say
I have
side D.
PsyD, well, psychology, doctor
Oh,
of psychology instead of PhD,
yeah, psych.
So it's like we're we've we're like we scored the touchdown and then celebrated. A lot of people they put what do they say? They put the wagon before the horse,
The cart before the horse.
Yeah, we didn't do that,
I did that,
So did you kind of,
dude.
because you bought your house before you had a kid.
I
You know what I
did.
mean?
I did.
Like you did it, you
I
didn't do
tried.
it. Well, you didn't do stupidly though.
No.
Let's keep it solid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It got scary though.
yeah, it happens. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna face some BS one day, but we're way better and more equipped to deal with it versus doing it while she was still in college,
Right.
or
Yeah. 100%.
grad
I agree.
school, and me having to hit these shows up, having to travel across country. You know what I mean? Like if I was still, I have to do this, you know what I mean? Then it'd be crazy. But I I want to, don't get me wrong. That's why I said we'll talk about it to the promoter because I'm not just all right, I retire
But
because
at
that's
some point
crazy.
though, is it gonna hurt you to not keep jumping back in these things? Because like you live off your name, right?
Yeah,
Like in at
100%.
least in your space.
Yeah, 100%.
Your name, your music, that's your
Yeah,
reputation, that's who you are.
yeah,
And you have to stay active,
yeah.
right? So you do have the
Right.
YouTube thing going, and
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a plus.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like you have to be out at these shows?
Um, yeah, I do. If I want to keep expanding, yeah, you
So
know,
does that bother you that you don't go to them?
uh, I'd say about a good 2%.
Okay, so no.
No,
Just
no.
no.
I love being a father,
Yeah.
bro. For how long have I been rapping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My first show, look at this. I was a baby. You know what I mean? This is 17 years old.
Was that at what is it, Summer Splash?
Yeah, Summer Splash, bro. I've been doing this
You
since
know, Terry and I were there for that.
that's crazy.
We were there for that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we saw you on stage. I don't even think I knew you yet,
No, he
but
didn't.
Terry did. She was like, "Oh, I know him."
Yeah, yeah. We had a math class, I think, together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Super
crazy.
cool. And
How
it's
do we
like
how do we wind up meeting? Was it at Delta?
Delta.
Just
Yep.
randomly?
Yeah, you came up to the circle of rapper and was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm I'm a DJ. I'm doing a mixtape. What's up?"
Is that what I did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
see?
was like, "Well, guess what?
You came to the right place.
Yeah, I rap. Everybody, yeah, for sure. We'll figure it out." And those are the same people that's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. That
I
was
tell a lot of rappers nowadays, like, you got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and make something happen. rather it's a for sure win or not. You know,
Yeah, and
who knew who you were?
yeah, nobody.
I'm no, I'm not saying you could have been shit. You could have been DJ Envy for all we knew the next year after.
So I have a confession to make on that note
Uh-huh.
because I've been doing a lot. Can you hear Penny?
No. Can you hear my son?
No.
Okay, good.
Dad life, 100%.
Yeah,
Um, so there's some other stuff I thought about because I used to love DJing. I
yeah.
love DJing. I still have the equipment. Still have my original turntables. I have my original turntables.
Oh wow.
Like the very first ones I had that were like trash turntables, Gemini something or other. I think they're a Gemini XL 500. It doesn't matter. They were
Uh-huh.
trash. Belt drive, no good, but it's all I had, right?
Yeah,
And I was in high school, so my parents had to buy it for me.
yeah.
So that's all they could afford. So I was like, I'll take it. So
Hmm.
they for Christmas, I think it was Christmas or something. I got two turntables. It was a box. It was a kit,
Yeah.
right? And I got like four records, and that's how the whole thing started. And
Wow.
the reason that I wanted to DJ is because my cousin was a DJ. Shout out to Manuel, DJ
Hmm.
Manuel C. He used to DJ. I think he still does do Mega 100 and a couple other radio stations.
Oh, dope.
He's got a full-time job. He does the radio thing and he does after spots. He
Uh-huh.
does like bars and clubs and private events. I don't know
He's
how he
getting
has the
it.
time. Yeah, he's doing his thing. He's been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah,
But I used to listen to him on the radio, and I
yeah,
used to record, cassette tapes. Right? I used to
yeah,
record cassette tapes and just listen to him play. And I used to listen to my head over and over again. I was like, man, these guys are crazy. I didn't
yeah,
understand that they had intros and outros and pre-recorded samples. I didn't
yeah,
know any of that. I just thought these guys were doing some crazy stuff live.
yeah,
And then there was two guys that came out and they did a bunch of breaks. Man, they're famous too, and I can't for whatever reason it's blocking me. But I used to every time they had a record, I would buy it.
yeah.
And somehow I figured out a way to reach out to them. I sent them
Hmm.
an email and I was like, hey, I want you guys to know that I really enjoy your music and I love what you guys do, very
Yeah,
talented, and I want to get to that level one day.
yeah.
And they actually responded to me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we had a conversation about it, and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, all that stuff is done in the studio. So don't press yourself for trying to make something live on the scene because that's not
Right,
how it actually works."
right.
And I was in high school. I was 16 at the time. I didn't
Yeah,
have nobody taught me how to do this stuff. I was figuring out as like everything else that we do. You
yeah.
figure it out as we go. And so that's how I wanted to become a DJ.
Wow.
I lost my train of thought midway. How did I Oh,
I was
man.
saying, who knew like
Oh,
you?
right. I had a confession to make. So
Okay, let's hear it.
the confession is that I had opportunities with you to go out
Hmm.
and do more things.
Hmm.
You had always invited me to be your DJ, go to the clubs with you, do
Yeah,
different scenes, right? And I
yeah.
always stayed away from it.
Why? Yeah,
Like
I'm always curious about
I
that.
did, right? Like
Yeah, you
you
did.
gave me because I used to go with you to the studios
Yeah.
and we do other stuff like that, and that I was okay with. But I was always shied away from like the big see, I was always embarrassed to be embarrassed. I never wanted to make a mistake. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to be slow, flawless at the craft and I was never going to be perfect, right? I was
Yeah.
never going to be ready.
That's never how it happens. Yeah.
That, but yeah, but in my head though, that's why I didn't do it.
Wow.
And it's funny because I had a conversation with Terry about this. We were at a quinceanera over the
Hmm.
weekend on Saturday, right?
Hmm.
DJ was terrible, terrible. Everybody else was having a great time.
Yeah.
Everybody else is having a great time. Nobody's tripping. Nobody cares that nothing blends
Yeah.
one song overlapping over the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
He would play like an R&B song, then go into like a Mexican song,
Yeah.
and then hit Mac Dre after. And like nothing blends, nothing makes
Yeah.
sense. There's no consistency. There's no harmony
Yeah.
between the music. But I really studied being a DJ. Like I really wanted to be a really, really good DJ.
Yeah.
And so I was just always too afraid to make a mistake and be like, I'm never gonna make it because I screw up.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
So
got
that
like one of the things that that this football player, right? He's like a teenager that passed, right? His name was Trayvon Breckenridge.
he passed
One of
away.
his like slogans, yeah, one of his slogans that his mom made his clothing line about is not afraid to lose.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I feel like I was always not afraid to like take that punch. You know what I
Mm.
mean? but then again, I had a lot of confidence though. You know what I mean? So it's like I know that if I can do it, you can do it. I'm like, man, we can do this and
Well, you
yada
had a
yada.
lot of good people in your space.
Yeah,
You had your
yeah,
uncle that had your back.
yeah,
You had a lot of good contacts around you.
yeah.
So you
That
had a great support system in your
see,
direct space.
see now that's what's crazy, right? Because I get a lot of people, a lot throughout my time. You get a rapper saying, "Bro, what should I do? What should I do?" And I've always given advice, right? Yeah, you should do this. You know, if you just do that and yada yada, this would probably pop off for you. But I've until recent, until a few years ago, I've just started realizing my advice is never going to work for somebody else.
Mm,
Never.
yeah, there's truth to that.
I cannot help somebody to the finish line. You know
No,
what I mean?
no,
Because you didn't meet the people I knew. You weren't humble enough to speak to the people I knew. You know what I mean?
right.
Like you didn't have the confidence to do it more than likely. You know, dude, I fell out with a label, which was my uncle's label, and landed in Hallway Productions. Like, who
Right.
does that? Who does that? Who? How
Yeah.
do you leave a label where you're writing for Disney freaking actors and stuff like that, and working with uh the DeBarges and stuff in the studio? You leave that situation, turn around, and you're with Grammy nominated producers.
Yeah.
And the very next year, D goes off and he's doing sound for Lil Wayne on a tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Shout
how
out to
does that
Teak and
happen?
D, Hallway Productions.
Yeah, big shout out to Hallway Productions
Yeah.
all day.
All day.
And it's like, bro, I was lucky. Now, luck is what? When opportunity meets preparation, right? I've always been prepared for the opportunity. You know what I mean? My music has never lacked. I've not always been the dopest, you know what I mean? But it was always something there. So if when Teak and D heard me, it was like, well, mainly Teak. When Teak heard me, he was like, there's something there. I want to work with him. You know, it wasn't like, I don't know. Cause there was a lot of I don't knows around the city. And that goes back to my point. Like a lot of people ask these questions, what should I do? How should I do it? What would you do? And it's like, bro, if you're not willing to live in your house for 2+ years with no TV, you know what I mean? Just YouTube to only listening and watching the YouTube to see what these other artists are doing and make sure you're not falling behind. You know what I mean? And to upload your music and just straight grind. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You take away all the going out. The only time you go out is to perform.
I think what you said is very critical, right? Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah.
So to go back to what I was talking about, I had a lot of confidence to an extent, right? I
Yeah.
was confident enough to walk up to a whole bunch of people I didn't know
Yeah.
and introduce myself like, hey, this is what I'm trying to get something going. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I used to walk up and down the street instead of taking my truck, I
Mm-hmm.
used to walk to get a haircut. And it
Mm-hmm.
was far. It was really far. And I did
Mm-hmm.
that on purpose because on the way I tried to sell mixtapes.
That's dope.
So I took a stack of tapes with me in a backpack and I was or CDs.
Yeah.
And I was trying to sell them as I was walking across people on the way. Like I was really trying to hustle.
You was really grinding.
I
You
was
was
not
really
afraid to
grinding.
do it. I was at gas stations pitching. We would go on vacation. This is when like everybody was selling a mixtape, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on every corner was selling a mixtape. And
Yeah.
it was unique because I was, oh, I'm a DJ. Let me hear it. So then they didn't want to sell it to me anymore. They want to give it to me.
Yeah.
So
100%.
and I was cool because I did make mixtapes. We made a couple mixtapes.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of effort into those, man. I still to this day think they were quality.
Hell
Um,
yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell
but
yeah. Facts.
I remember getting mixtapes and wanting to throw them out of my car almost every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. So even if though people had the drive, they didn't
Everybody,
have
everybody don't got the talent, man.
the talent or the logic or the common sense or the willingness to say, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I need to get help.
Yeah.
Right? And find a space to learn from each other to do things. Because you can have all the skill in the world. There's a guy I knew growing up that had all the DJ equipment in the world, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, though, he didn't have the talent.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to do any type of mixing and stuff like that. And I was very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I was because he came from money and I didn't.
Yeah.
And so
That's the worst.
Yeah. So yeah, right. I'm like, man, I really felt some type of way about it because I'm like, okay, you have everything you need, and I don't have any of it. I literally started with trash turntables,
Yeah.
did a couple parties. I used to take my parents' speakers, like their house speakers.
Yeah.
I used to take them to halls, and like the old school receiver with the knobs on it and the
Yeah.
fuse in the back.
Yeah. I know
That
what
was
you're
my
talking
amp.
about.
That's how I started.
Let's go. Hey,
But
we
I
all
was,
gotta start somewhere.
dude, I was so willing to grind out though. Like there was, I had the mentality of nothing was gonna stop me. Every
Right.
dollar I made went right back into it. I never really made money, but I had better equipment.
Yeah.
Right. I wound up buying the Technique turntables. I had the lights. I had the speakers.
Yeah.
I had the fresh records every weekend. I go out and buy records because
Yeah.
we didn't have Serato or digital audio back then. It was all breaking
Yeah.
back. I had a whole truck filled with all my equipment,
Yeah.
and that was the grind, man. It was passion, but I also was willing to meet other people so I could
Yeah.
learn how to do things.
Yeah.
Right. Like I met guys like you,
Mm-hmm.
Teak and D for studio. I got to see what a real studio was. You took me to some other studios.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see things. I was exposed to it, and I was humbled real quick. So I had the drive, but I knew I didn't have the knowledge, right?
But that's like to me, okay, see, that's where we would differ, right? Because I'm like, bro, now you have the knowledge. You don't
Well,
have it, but you have access to it.
so if
You
I
know?
could go back in time and talk to
Yeah.
myself, and that's what having kids does,
Yeah. Yeah, it
right?
does. Yeah.
Having kids is being able to go back and talk to yourself, right? You can try to fix your mistakes, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I tell Gigi all the time, mistakes are okay. It's okay to make a mistake. I
100%.
tell
That's
her
how you grow.
all the time, like, I want you to embrace mistakes.
Yeah.
Almost everything is fixable,
Yeah.
right? It's okay, especially at her age, everything is fixable.
Yeah.
Everything is fixable. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Facts. Yeah.
so to go back in time, I would say, especially like I know this DJ got paid at least a rack. I
Wow.
mean, dude, his setup was nice. He had chains on, he was blinged out. I was like, man, he looked like Lil
You know
Wayne
how it
chains
go.
on his neck. It was
Yeah, you
crazy.
know how it go.
Yeah,
Now, now the coldest part about it, right? Let's get back to the first topic. You can do that. You could do that. You could do exactly what he's doing right now.
yeah, I could.
You one thing you've always were able to do was to turn up a party, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that though.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, so
You got
you
5 minutes left. I'm watching the clock.
okay. I was just
What time you got to dip?
11, but I was just asking my wife for 20 more minutes and she just sent me the funniest response. But
Wait,
my
did we get a
point, right?
pass?
I don't know. We'll find out in a second.
The
But the
boss.
point that the what I was trying to make is you can do it. You've always been able to turn a party up. You don't just lose that ability, right?
Right.
You know music, right? So you can do that, but you have so much on your plate, you can't do it. Now that would bring money in.
Okay, no, that's not true. I could do it.
Oh,
I could
yeah,
do
that's
it, like, I don't want to do it though. And that's my truth.
okay. Well, what I'm saying is, even if you wanted to, you got too much on your plate to do it. Now you would have to scale back something else to push that
I
forward.
would have to give up my weekends.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
yeah. I feel you. Well, you're already giving up your weekends.
Not my evening, not my
Huh?
evenings, not my
True.
evenings.
True. True. True.
I mean,
True.
but
True.
look,
True.
if I had to do it, if I had to do it, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
I got so my one of my very close friends, we did a job for him. We put
Hmm.
some attic insulation in this place. And he's a DJ.
Yeah.
And he's a good DJ,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
He's a shout out to what's his DJ name? I gotta find him. I gotta find him. Out of all due respect, I gotta find him. And I know his real name, but I think it's like DJ. I don't want to get it wrong. It'd be very disrespectful if I got it wrong. You'll understand why in a minute.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, he hooked me up with some equipment, the
Oh,
equipment that I
okay.
always wanted. I sent them to you, the controllers, right? The digital ones with all the
Yeah.
everything in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that from him. So if I luckily I could jump back into it. Oh yeah, DJ Dick Daniel.
Yikes.
Yeah, I told you I had to get it right. I had to
Yeah.
get it right. Yeah. But no, he's legit. Follow him. He's on SoundCloud. He's got all the top of the line equipment. So shout out to him for getting me back into the game.
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel.
But I guess to your point though is like you're asking me what I want. I think what you're trying to get at is would I be willing on to take on more to do something like that?
Well, no, not even take on something more. It's like, would you be willing to cut ties with some of the stuff in order to do to like because it's basically like self-care. DJ isn't it work that ain't work for you. That's something you would enjoy doing, right?
Yeah,
You would stress about it because you want it, oh yeah, I gotta be the best,
it's
yada
got to.
yada.
Yeah,
Okay. You know what I mean? So I respect that, but that's like competition. That's not necessarily like I gotta grunt work this out because I gotta make sure this event goes good at the school. You
right.
know, it's two totally different things. So would you be willing to let go of responsibility to for some kind of self-care, you know? Now, I don't think you would, my guy. I don't think so. You feel me? I don't see
Well,
it. I
I
don't see
I
it.
actually have.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You gotta tell me. We
to an
got we don't
extent.
got a lot of time, but you gotta tell me.
Well, I mean, just I'm able to do this,
That's good.
right? This is
Yeah.
happening right now.
Yeah,
Now,
that's good.
it's fortunate and it's unfortunate. It's fortunate because Gigi's home; she's able to watch the baby. I have an
Yeah,
11-year-old girl; she's able to take care of her, and she's a great big sister.
right.
Um,
Which
but
is great.
but back in
Shout
the
out to her.
day, yeah, for sure, all day. Um,
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, there's no
Hmm.
way I would do this because
Right.
I have to you see that wire right there. You see that
Yeah.
bugging the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I
you
would I
gotta
would have
figure
to
that
fix
out.
that. I
Yeah.
have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Little things, right? There's stuff in the kitchen that's got to get picked up. There's
Hmm.
stuff in the living room. So I'd be hyper focused on getting the house clean,
Yeah.
right? So when I was traveling, I didn't care about how the house looked
Yeah.
at all. I didn't care. I'm home. We're going out.
Yeah.
We're
100%.
going out. We're spending. I get one day back home. I come home Friday late night, evening flight.
Yeah.
Come home, basically just hang out a little bit, go to sleep. Saturday, I had all day Saturday. We were out. Sunday morning in the afternoon, I typically fly out again. I had one day
Man,
home. I
that's
didn't care what the house.
crazy.
Yeah, I didn't care what the house looked like.
Yeah. 100%.
I'll be gone 2 3 weeks at a time. Come back, reset the cycle.
Man.
Um, I got home, switched careers. Well, so let's add to that. I left my job.
Hmm.
I left my job because I got tired of being away from my family. Got
Yeah.
tired of being direct deposit. Now there's a gem in there that I never forgot. So the owner of the company was my boss.
Yeah.
We had warehouses all over the United States. I think there was one in Puerto Rico, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, when I told him I was leaving, he got mad at me. He didn't get mad at me in a way like, "Oh, you're fired, get out of here." He got mad at me because I didn't talk to him before I reached this breaking point in my life.
Before
Right?
you wanted to put your family first.
Yeah, I guess.
How dare you?
No, I don't.
How
He
dare you?
no. I'm gonna defend him on this one though because he said,
Nah,
"Look,
you can't.
if you needed more time home, then we would have found you more time home."
I bet he would have. You could have had 2 days. How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know, but I do feel like he gave me this like you were talking about how you got boosted, right? I
Yeah.
think it was in one of your streams. You had opportunities present themselves that you took advantage of, right? He
Hmm.
gave me that opportunity though.
That's good though.
He gave me that opportunity, so I can't default him for take that away from
Yeah,
what he
you
did for me.
can. Come on, bro. Like I told you earlier in this stream, if I wasn't dope, I would have never got that opportunity.
Right. Hey,
If I didn't have bars, if I wasn't a humbler type of guy, if I wasn't dope,
I
it
I
wouldn't have
have to
worked.
I have to disagree with you, dude. There's people out there all over the place that have lots of talent that aren't going to make it.
And guess what? They don't know the people they didn't know him.
Right. They didn't get the opportunity.
They're in New York.
They didn't
You
get
know
the
what I mean?
opportunity.
That person's in Florida. There was no way they were going to cross paths besides working with each other. Like, this company works with that company.
But that proves that you should be more grateful for that opportunity that you had it.
Right. For you. Now, he needs to be grateful too. Like, hey man, all right, for sure. Appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because there's not it ain't like he went and picked up another Eddie.
Oh, you're talking about my old boss?
Yeah,
Oh no, I look, I could probably go back tomorrow.
yeah, 100%.
And we
Duh.
didn't we
I
didn't leave
know
on
that.
bad terms.
Yeah,
But
100%. But
but I
what
think the
go ahead.
what I was gonna say is that though, what he told me is like next time you get into a situation like this, you need to have a conversation before you make a decision.
Right. I hear what he's saying,
And
right?
I respect that because I was stressed, I was tired of being gone.
Yeah.
I miss my family,
Yeah.
100% missed them.
Yeah.
So
I hear him, and I
But
think this might have to be a part two. But he said that because it ain't easy to replace the hitters, man. It
there's
ain't easy.
there's
The
truth to
the
that.
first the first label I left has been looking for another Psyph since I left. There's been talent come, and there's been talent that left.
Yeah,
There ain't nobody that did it like I did it. You feel me? And I'm not saying that I am the best or I'm the pinnacle or whatever. What I'm saying is there's only one Kobe, there's only one Jordan, there's only one. They keep trying to make, oh, is LeBron the next Jordan? No, Jordan's Jordan, LeBron's LeBron.
right.
You feel me? You're you, I'm me. You can't replace that with another person thinking you're getting the same stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stats meaning the same person, the same output.
right.
It's never gonna work. You know, like I was tripping because me and my wife we watch these dating shows and stuff, and this person's like, oh, I left because he wasn't sensitive enough, right? So now you're gonna find somebody that's sensitive, but now
They're too sensitive.
yeah, no, they lack something else.
Right.
They lack something else that this
Yeah.
person had, and then you go and find, you leave that person and find another thing, and they lack something that the other person had,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, you're never gonna find perfect,
No.
so you might as well just stay there and fix that, and I don't know how that correlates, but
No, no. It does because going back to what we talked about, right? When you have kids, it's like your second chance for a lot of things, right?
yeah,
So
100%.
like if Gigi was here DJing and she had an opportunity to go out and do bigger things, I would 100% tell her to go ahead and do those things. Like this is an opportunity you don't want to waste,
Yeah,
and this is something that you could haunt you for a long
yeah,
time, right? There's regret.
yeah, yeah,
There's regret. Now it's just as challenging to be in a situation it doesn't go your way too. But if you're
100%.
willing to look past the mistakes, right?
Yeah,
Because look at all these artists and all these people on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, the Instagram, the reels, the new world to me is crazy because they do wild stuff that I would never do. Like they
right.
just embarrass themselves, and my parents would destroy me. My
Yeah,
family would disown me.
yeah,
But nowadays, it's like that's acceptable. That's okay.
yeah,
The
yeah.
DJ was trash, right?
Hmm.
He's making it though. So what do I have to say? Right?
Right.
Like the whole what was it? The latest like 2 day beef that Soldier Boy had,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah,
went off.
yeah.
Nikki had to tell, hey man, you need to cool out because it's not what you're making it out to be.
Right.
And J. Cole, right? It was J. Cole.
Yeah.
J. Cole had said that I did not like Soldier Boy because that wasn't my realm of music.
Right.
But in the end, I had to respect the fact that he was getting his money,
Yeah. 100%.
right? And there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
So just like all these other things, that guy may not be, the way his style is may not be something that I would want to do,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, he's getting his money.
Right.
So it's like hate all you want, numbers don't lie,
Numbers don't lie, man.
right? So I would go back and I would definitely tell her, and what I do tell her, I'd say that, and I say this to other people too. If you're waiting for the perfect opportunity, you're gonna wait your entire life,
Facts.
right?
Make it.
Yeah, you have to
Make it
figure
the
it out.
perfect
So
opportunity.
I'm learning to be okay. I have to take my own advice,
Yeah. You
right?
got to
A
learn to
lot,
let that thing be okay.
dude, it's killing me right now. I'm like, I need to put a cord back there. I'm thinking about rerouting the putting the plug in the back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something. It's like ADD. I guess I have ADD. I
Yeah.
don't even realize it.
A little
But
bit. A little bit. A little
so
in there.
but a lot of us give good advice,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody wants to be an influencer or a life coach,
Yeah.
and sure, like we can say the right things,
Hmm.
but you have to be able to live them too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
and this is like the deep moment of the podcast of the video. You have to be able to take your own advice,
Facts.
and if you can't hold yourself accountable to being what you're talking about, then you're not doing anybody any favors because you're lying to everybody, including yourself,
Right. Including yourself.
right? And once that gets found out, it's gone.
Yeah.
And everything goes away. If you make it to the top level and everybody finds out you're a fake,
Yeah.
everything's gone, pulled out from underneath you. You fall straight to the ground, and honestly, that's where you should be,
Right.
right? Because
100%.
like Gigi growing up, you ever heard of the Ace family?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the Ace family?
Didn't they get exposed for being what was it, fake or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. They got exposed. They bought some like $1 million mansion in LA over cost because they thought they could.
Yeah.
They didn't pay anybody. They went bankrupt. Like everything
Wow.
about them was a lie. And they started from the ground up. They started in an apartment complex, if I remember correctly. But look, you can only lie for so long,
Yeah, you can.
right? And
Yeah.
especially you're making money off your kid and your family, you're trying
Hmm.
to push values, and you don't live up to the name. People aren't look. It's not that they're turning their back on you, like you're a friendship. You
Yeah.
know, you pose yourself to be a certain person,
Yeah.
and when the people don't, and they shouldn't mess with you, right?
Correct.
Like if I went around and I talked all this and that, and you found out I'm a real piece of trash in real life, oh,
Yeah.
it's time to go. All
Yeah.
right, well we'll continue. So
I
wrap it
think
up.
we should part two this because this is a good conversation.
Well, I mean, I think the good thing about our conversations is they're honest,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
right? Like I
I
really
agree.
wish the first conversation we had would have continued, but we could have recorded it
Yeah, that would have been great.
because this transformed from a phone call,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And the beginning of that would have really been a great push. So maybe it's hard though, right? Because then we can't talk as much anymore because we got to save. There's
Yeah.
content and
Save
everything.
the content.
Yeah, yeah. But you know,
Maybe we can. Maybe
yeah,
we could do that,
we'll
you
figure it
know?
out.
Yeah.
In the end, we're both dads. We're both
Yeah.
busy. We're both
Man.
dealing with stress and
Yeah.
all
And
that
this
other
is my
stuff.
first time in life I've ever had to get off and stop working to do something that had to do with what life, because my wife and my kid need like what the heck? Me? Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, I got. Where's my other? I have another hat here that my mom got me that I wore on the one last night.
Nice.
I'm surrounded by three girls. I have no saying anything anymore, bro.
Yeah, at
Like
all.
I have the illusion, but everybody
Yeah,
knows what's up.
yeah.
Anyways, we'll sign off. Uh, good talking to you, my man. We'll do some more.
Likewise,
We'll,
my
we'll
brother,
figure out how to brand
likewise.
this and do all that. And
Yeah.
in time, everything will get better. I can almost guarantee you that plug will be gone on the next
Let's
one.
go.
Oh
Let's
my
see it.
God. It's the
Let's see
simple things that
it.
are killing me. But thanks
Yeah,
for the conversation, man.
for sure. Thanks for having me.
All right, dude. Later.
All right. Peace.
Okay. Now.